Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Samantha Hanratty about season 2 of Yellowjackets, premiering on Showtime March 26th. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, this is so exciting. I mean, everyone was so excited when season 2 was finally kind of greenlit. We were going to get more content and everything, and it's coming out pretty soon. I mean, it's pretty awesome, right?
I'm just as excited. Knowing that we had another season was so amazing. And then now that we know that we have season 3 already is just incredible. I feel very honored.
2 seasons now officially of playing Misty. I mean, do you feel like you start to kind of understand this character when you kind of show up for season 2? Do you think you have a grasp of her a little bit after season 1? Like, or are you still kind of learning about this character as you go?
I feel like I'm always going to learn new things about Misty. She's such a complex character, but overall, I feel like I do know her pretty well. Like I've studied her for long enough.
I have to say, you do such an amazing job because that is such an amazing transformation, and it's so good. Okay. Season 2, trailers have kind of come out, and there's like some really cool social media posts, like we're picking up where we left off and everything. Okay, we're not going to go into big kind of spoilers and anything, but the tensions are heightened, obviously, naturally. It's getting colder. People are kind of butting heads and everything. You obviously did some things that kind of ruined a lot of things.
She did? Like what?
She broke the box? I had no idea.
I forgot about that.
When do you notice the tension in the script being heightened? Is it immediately after kind of episode 1? I feel like it's a slow burn, but like this show for season 2, the tension is so heightened with the whole cold and everything.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they crash, tensions are high. Yeah. And it has ebbs and flows of like anxiety and chaos versus like depression and emptiness. And then, it's like everybody is at their different moments. And there's a lot going on with each character and how they're really taking on this crazy situation that they've been given. And so, with season 2, it's like, it's almost the numb season, as I feel like there's like a stillness in the fact that it's like, this is their lives now. Mm-hmm. They're exhausted. There's not much they can do, and so, they're definitely not doing the dance sequences this season. Like it's really intense out there. And emotions are high, and people are desperate.
Everything gets elevated, like everything.
Yeah,
and it's kind of survival mode, right? And everything, like everyone's just trying to figure things out because of you almost.
Oops.
Okay, so it's interesting because you play teen Misty and Christina plays Misty in the more present days and everything. I think you both do an amazing job of like, you have the same kind of mannerisms and you really know it really kind of matches and is in sync. I know that, there are different kind of shooting days and everything, and maybe you don't see the kind of adult versions all the time. But in terms of those conversations with Christina about how Misty is going to be, how Misty's going to act, like, were there any specific Misty conversations with Christina at all?
It always I feel like people are always like, really? But the truth is, no, we never, we met up one time. We had a great lunch. We had a good time. We mainly talked about like our lives and what's going on in our lives. And we did talk a bit about Misty. Like, of course, there's some conversations, but it was more of like, what did you hear? This is what I heard. Mm-hmm. And we haven't really we see each other at events and that's pretty much it. Like, and I really love the girl and, but there's so much life stuff happening. I mean, she's a mama. She's got 2 kids.
Yeah.
She's got, her amazing husband who I love. He's so wonderful. I'm over here getting married in November. Like, we have so much going on in like crazy life that like when we're not filming, it's like family, home, like, doing all of that. So like really, we didn't talk too much about it. And somehow it just turned out so seamless. I don't know how it happened. I'm so freaking happy it did.
It's awesome.
But I have no idea how we got her to be so in sync both times.
It's incredible. It's one of my favorite things. And, you know, the Yellowjackets fandom is so amazing, and people kind of had so many kind of theories and everything, and the Misty theories won't stop. What is your mindset reading all those theories? Because, like, maybe some of them are like right, or maybe some of them are like, I never thought about that, or like, there's the misconception that people think you know what's going on, and like, you might not know what's going on. You have to wait and see as well.
We have a brilliant fan base, and I love their minds. Their minds are just as weird and crazy as mine is. And I love reading the theories. I think it's so fun to be on a show where you get people talking like this. People get to sit around and come up with these things, and we do it too. Our cast does it all the time. We're always like, oh, okay, so do you think that this person, when they did that actually happen? And blah, blah, blah. Like, we all sit around and talk about all this stuff, and it's fun. I have a really good time with it.
It's incredible. You have been an actor and a storyteller for quite some time. You're working on a lot of different projects. And, you know, you look at when you kind of started out working on a bunch of different shows and movies, like American Girl movies, and then you did, you know, some episodes, like you were in like Drake and Josh and iCarly and everything. You were in my favorite episode ever of Drake and Josh, by the way, which is nuts.
The foam finger
The foam finger episode.
Haunted me, sir. I have only 3 weeks to live.
I know, yeah. Why would a dying orphan be at a Padres game?
So ridiculous. I love it.
I know. So, and then you worked on, you know, Shameless and everything. These are all kind of different projects. I mean, do you think about the fact that already you have been able to work on a lot of different projects, because I feel like that's not really planned. Like, I feel like that just kind of happens, right?
I've had a very fortunate career of playing very different people. And, you know, there was a point in my life, in my career, that I was reoccurring on 3 shows at once. It was Pushing Daisies, which was this very quirky, really cool, unique show. Then a show called The Unit, which was like the military force unit.
Yep.
And then The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. So I was literally like bouncing between like touching dead people to like my dad's in the military and I'm crying. I don't know why. And then I'm over here on Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, like, you know, like playing a con artist.
Scamming.
And playing,
yes, with the Girl Scout cookies. Oh my God.
Yeah. Peanut butter sticky wickies, you know, like, I mean, I was out there. So it was so cool, because like, that's the fun of it, is getting to play all these different characters, all these different stories. And I feel like I've been so lucky. And it's really interesting, because for people who don't know my career, they're like, oh, you know, how is it, you know, like you finally kind of are working. And I'm like, I mean, I've been working for 21 years, but I get what you mean. This is definitely the biggest deal of my career.
I mean, you're no stranger. Before Yellowjackets too, like Showtime, I mean, Shameless. Your character is one of my favorite characters to be in Shameless.
You love them crazy, don't you?
Because they're just, well, I mean, it was just like, it's just your character, and I think that's the point, was literally 0 to 100. Like, you're watching this show, and then Carl's in trouble, and you're like, why is he in trouble? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. It's so funny. It's so funny.
It's amazing. I'm a big horror movie fan. That's my favorite genre. Yellowjackets is a genre bending show, but it definitely has those horror thriller kind of elements that the horror movie community and the horror fans are going to eat up and everything. I'm just curious, knowing that, because this show has a lot of incredible fans, like you said, the fan base, the brilliant fan base that it is, but there are a lot of like horror movie fans that like love Yellowjackets. So I'm just curious what you think about working in the genre of horror, knowing that there is a big appetite for it. Like, it's one of the biggest and innovative genres out there right now, Sam.
Yeah. My first job, really, like, other than commercials, my first movie was a Stephen King film. And I was like dead on the stairs, and like I had my first dummy made, and I was taking pictures with my dead self, being like, you know, yeah, it was very fun. I actually didn't watch the movie until many years later, because I'm such a chicken. But I just started enjoying horror films. I'm more of a thriller fan, which I think is as similar to our show. There's this mystery behind it. There's this kind of like, who did what happened, you know. Don't get me wrong, we still have a couple of pops of
Yellowjackets, I was about to say, has some pure like horror movie moments. So I'm feeling like, do you get like, like I'm about to say, like, there's some really like scary stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and especially this season, it gets worse. But yeah, I think I enjoy being the scarer. I don't necessarily like being scared. I enjoy being the scarer. So for me, it's fun being able to watch the show with people and knowing there's a moment coming up and looking. I always do this kind of like glance over and see when people are like, I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because one of the things, the craziest thing is I had a moment on the show at one point where I was interviewing a lot of people from horror movies, and I would interview some of these actors from like some of the scariest movies I've ever seen. And then like they're in some of the scariest jump scare sequences, and they as like people like can't do horror movies. And I find that the most interesting thing ever, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because there's, what's almost more scary than anything is like, and there's a creepiness, like, because for me, like growing up, I did a lot of like, I was a killer a lot of the time, whatnot. And there's something about being innocent and looking innocent and then being the bad guy or whatever, that it's more enjoyable because it's like something that we're not used to, and so it's more fun. So I totally get how there's those people that, are better at doing it than watching it. And I'm definitely, like I said, one of those people. I get scared very easily. Growing up, I had night terrors all the time. And so I literally couldn't watch scary things because otherwise they would be like in my dreams. But as I've gotten older, I've been able to enjoy it a lot more. And I think it helps when you know people that are in the movies. And also my fiance is just, a big movie fanatic in general. So he is opened up my eyes to a much larger genres.
Well, I do find it interesting too. That's really interesting because one of my favorite things about the horror genre is there's new ways to scare people. Like you don't need the traditional kind of jump scares and gore, which season 2 of Yellowjackets might or might not have. But but like there's the kind of like, especially in Yellowjackets, like why did Mari say that the way she said it? Why is Travis looking that way? You know what I mean? It's like one of those, and you're like, like I feel freaked out. You know what I mean? By how these people are acting. Like people are scary.
Yeah, that's the thing in our show. People are scary, and I think that what we're capable of is scary. And we also haven't really gotten to see many shows where we show women and what they're capable of, especially young women. And I think that we are a force to be reckoned with, and we are strong, and we are dangerous.
I know.
And
it's incredible. Florence the Machine have an exclusive version of No Doubt's Just a Girl that has just dropped. I've been listening to it on Spotify over and over and over again. I used to be in a band where we had a female lead singer and guitarist, and that was one of the first like songs that we covered as a band was Just a Girl. So like it was one of those. Yes. Because I played drums.
What are the odds? That's so funny.
Well, like PD Beats came from like, that was my stage name when I used to play in like rock bands and everything.
I love it. The only rock band I was ever in was Guitar Hero and Rock Band.
Yes. For sure. But the thing is, that video that was posted is so amazing. Is there anything you could tell me about that video specifically? Like, I love that video. The promo video, the lip syncing video. I love that video so much.
Oh, that makes me so happy. I think none of us really knew what we were doing. We were like, okay.
It's so good. The soundtracks for Yellowjackets are some of the, like, it was one of my favorite soundtracks. I can't go into big details, but we continue the momentum for season 2. Unbelievable soundtrack in season 2. Some of my favorite 90s bands. It's so amazing. Samantha, thank you so much for your time. It was really great chatting with you.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy we got to do this.
I know. I'm so happy as well. So like I said, March 26th on Showtime. March 24th, Showtime Plus is going to be available 2 days in advance, which is crazy for a lot of people that are subscribed there. And your Instagram account, is it just your name, Samantha Hanratty?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's still Sammy Hanratty at the moment, but I'm trying to get it changed over to Samantha Hanratty. there's a girl on there, please if you want to give, I would be very appreciative. But yeah, so Sammy
You'd be like,
Hanratty.
I'll trade you my old Rock Band guitar.
Literally, I'm like, I'll give you this pen. I'll give you my pen.
Absolutely. No, for sure. So they can check out that. And that's where it's that video of the Just a Girl video is circulating everywhere. So they gotta
Go to the Yellowjackets Instagram. Woo!
Absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative. For previous episodes, you of course can catch Samantha Hanratty in season 2 of Yellowjackets, premiering on Showtime March 26th. Until next time, Samantha and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.